You know, he says that we created the impression that there's a magic wound that with 1D, 1F, the job issue would go and all that. Come on. All over the world, when any leader, politician says that I will create this opportunity or this vehicle to address a problem, there's no way Akufo-Addo said that when I come to office, unemployment will vanish in Ghana. I mean, who will say that? Even economically, even in Germany, in the UK, US, you go there, people have. So it's always about what you came to meet and the interventions you put in place to address the problem. And look, whether you like it or not, nobody can take the momentum out of the 1D, 1F policy. And no, it is difficult to do that because, I mean, it just wouldn't fly. And I wouldn't like to bore you with a lot of comments. But look, in Oti region recently, the president commissioned a factory that processes cassava and yam with the capacity to handle hundreds of thousands of tubers. Whether you like it or not, it took 1D, 1F policy of going for EXIM facility. Anyone listening to us who is into business knows that the cost of credit is key to starting a business or sustaining a business. Because commercial banks have rates that sometimes can make it very intimidating. EXIM Bank helped this company to access credit with a very low interest rate or cost. Today, that factory is operational because the government of the day put in place a policy which allows you to access these funds. Not only that, machinery in the factory came into Ghana tax exempt, duty exempt. There are tax holidays. These are deliberate policies created by government to try and make sure that we create jobs. Whether I like it or not, there are people working in that factory today as we speak. In fact, now on the show, some of them are at work. The factory is running. If you come to, I always use Kasapreko, and it's important to quote what the Kasapreko MD said himself. Very, very important statement from Kasapreko. And it gives you an idea of what, I mean, deliberate government policy can result in. Now, this is the finder online. Oh, please. Kasapreko unveils 1D, 1F factory. Now, this, I read, the multi-purpose factory, which is set up on a 10,000 square meter property, has the capacity to produce 35,000 bottles per hour of juices and non-alcoholic drinks. The factory would employ 300 people directly and also generate some 3,000. This factory is at town also. Now listen, speaking at the launch, Chairman of Kasapreko Group, Dr. Kwabena J, expressed profound gratitude to the government of Ghana for the 1D, 1F initiative, which has assisted Kasapreko to access, listen, a $25 million Stanbic Bank loan for the construction of the factory. This is him being quoted. I want to use this occasion to congratulate the President and his government for the ideation of the 1D, 1F program, aimed at creating jobs for Ghanaians through the setting up of factories and industries, which will in turn move the country towards industrialization. According to him, the factory, which is part of government's flagship 1D, 1F initiative, was equipped with world-class machinery that would contribute to the production of quality brands and all that. Indeed, Kasapreko appreciates its association with government's program. Now, it says that Dr. J. Feda indicated that for the private sector to thrive, there's the need for government to introduce policies that will help create enabling environment. Now, I just wanted to mention exactly, for those, listen to, this is the man speaking. This is not a government official. This is a businessman in Ghana and the Akufo-Addo's government. For those who do not believe the 1D, 1F program is real, please note, Parliament has approved a 5-year tax waiver for Kasapreko, worth $28 million on machinery and raw materials because of 1D, 1F, he said. This is deliberate, conscious government policy, which removes the
and to add to that, yes, in your 2016 manifesto, yes, the 1D, 1F initiative, and Sweeney, you were referring to it. You said it changed the policy when they came into practice, yeah, in collaboration with the private sector. Yeah. So they actually stated it even in the 2016 manifesto.
Look.
I made that point. Annie, I made that point. What I said was that this was captured in the manifesto, but that was not what was communicated on platforms and engagements with the unemployed.
I'm a key government.
But the PPP engagement. They've been saying it.
Yes,
no, I'm saying that came up when they came into office, and they were confronted by the same youth when they started demanding the factories in their areas, and they said, read our manifesto. But in their communication on platforms and engagement with the youth, they did not indicate that it was for people.
Okay.
That's the point I made.
Look, I communicated with them.
Do you understand
I didn't tell them what you are mentioning. Look, people feign misunderstanding of the 1D, 1F. Some generally don't understand the concept. So we continue doing education. 1D, 1F policy simply means that, or what it's about, is that government has put some packages in place. When you are an entrepreneur, or you are a factory, or you are already in existence, you can take advantage of that package, and then it will allow you to set up a business. It's very simple. It's not complicated. And I've read copiously from comments from a Ghanaian businessman, one of the most established businessmen. Now, so I can go on and on. Central Mills recently is an oil palm factory. They received 12 million Ghana cedis from Exim Bank. Because of that, they are expanding their plantation. They have done a new one at Inform, Lower Dentra, the Central Region. The president was there recently. Without this government policy, all these jobs wouldn't have been there. Now, let's go to even companies that were struggling under JM, that wicked, and through policy.
As you're talking job, consider the job categorization.
Oh, no, absolutely.
Unemployment and underemployment, literate and illiterate.
See, Obuasi Mines is my favorite subject when I talk about revival, resuscitation of companies that were moribund under JM. You see, they were facing challenges with cost of power. They were facing challenges with import duties on machinery. They were facing challenges with capitalization, cost of credit. What this government did, Ekufado's cabinet brought how do you call it, a bill, a memorandum to Parliament. We looked at it, gave them exemptions, gave them some concessions, and through that, close to $1 billion was injected into the Obuasi mines. Today, as we speak, anyone watching us from Obuasi, had it not been for this government's intervention, they would have been home like they were during James' time. So, look, I don't want anybody to get me wrong. We still have a huge assignment to create serious opportunities for the Ghanaian youth and for Ghanaians in general. But we should not lose sight, because that's what Suhini will attempt and others will attempt. We should not lose sight of the efforts that are continuously being put up to provide opportunities for the greater majority of our people. Public sector has a role to play, I agree, when it comes to employment. And I'm sad I didn't come to meet Dr. Randiabe here, because today I wanted to, what's the word? I can't say threaten, but I wanted to mention Kwesi Pratt. Anytime he tries to make life difficult for me. He's not, because I watched him and Kwesi Pratt.
So you're not happy to see me here?
Oh, no. You see, I wanted to cause trouble for Dr. Abu. You see, I wanted to cause trouble because I watched him and Kwesi Pratt. And Kwesi Pratt, life was not easy for him. When Pratt was saying that all jobs, as much as possible, should be created by the state. I mean, I don't subscribe to that. But I agree with you that the state also has a role to play when it comes to job creation.
But saying that, I don't think that is like in practice. Like what he's probably trying to say, that all jobs in terms of creating the environment, even if it's entrepreneurship.
Creating the environment for jobs is what we stand for, capitalism. But we also we say we are center. We are center right, because we believe also in social interventions, and that's why we push for free SHS. Pure capitalism. People must pay for their fees. But we believe that you need social cover. Now,
then in that case, you should have allowed the parents to also play a role. Because you're not just extreme right, you are center right.
Role parents, when you pay your taxes, when you expand and you bring more taxes to the net, you are indirectly helping government to fund. So we can discuss that.
When we have a problem of what we haven't been able to capture in the tax net.
And see, the point I want to make on this show is that when it comes to private sector participation, creating an environment, the record of the Akufo-Addo government or the NPP tradition is huge. It's way above the capacity and the performance of the NDC. Now, even with government sector, I was at HELD. Look, 2015, when I was campaigning, I met folks who told me in 2016, Doc, nurses, there was one nurse I met, I'll never forget. I was going to talk plenty. When I come out, he said, please, I've been home for 4 or 5 years. I'm a nurse. No opportunity to work. So you will not tell me how to vote. I know where my vote is. I said, oh God, thank you very much. Then I moved on. No wonder JM was rejected by a margin of close to 1 million. But you know, the point is that under the Kufuor administration, we gave clearance over the 36-month period, 3 years, 100K. We have all the breakdown. Over 100,000 health workers, nurses, doctors, laboratory technicians, assistant pharmacists were given financial clearance and absorbed by the Kufuor government. Because of free SHS, if you go to education, we did employment. In fact, since this government came, it's more than 100,000. The breakdown is available for education. In most of these sectors under JM, because of the bad economic management, their wallets, as in the fund, their consolidation, could not sustain salaries and wages. So they eventually put a freeze on employment. The numbers were very limited. We have not absorbed all, but the performance is obviously way better than JM administration.